So let's talk a little bit about social media censorship. So you've had wide experience, we have over at the Daily Wire also, obviously, of situations in which it feels like social media is cracking down on you. Now, it would be ungrateful for me here at the Daily Wire to say that social media has been terrible to us. It hasn't. I mean, Facebook we've been wildly successful on. Obviously, we have an incredibly successful YouTube channel. But you've personally had lots of situations over at Rubin Report where they've demonetized your videos preemptively. I remember they demonetized a conversation that I think you, Jordan, and I had that had 5 million views, and they demonetized that one, if I'm not mistaken. And they kind of, as a rule, they basically just demonetize you right off the bat over at YouTube for no apparent reason. So what's your take on what should happen with these companies? And I want you to talk a little about locals.com, because that's the company that you've started to try and fight some of this stuff without calling for overt government regulation.
Yeah, so look, my general premise on this is I want these companies to be able to operate however they want to operate. Now, that does get a little messy because the amount of power that Google and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube now have over us is unimaginable, right? The amount of information that they control and the way they control the highway of information, 10 years ago, we could have never imagined how powerful that would be. That being said, my preference is to get the government out of the way and you just let them do their thing. Now, people will always say when I get 10 videos in a row demonetized or something, and I'm complaining about it on Twitter and I'm tagging Susan Wojcicki, who's the YouTube CEO, who I know you've had some conversations with and I've had some conversations with. Of course, they were all off the record, at least for mine, so I can't even repeat what was said. But people will say, Dave, how can you be complaining? How could you be complaining? You don't want the government to be involved. How can you complain? And it's like, no. That's the complete reverse of how this all works. I don't want the government involved, so I'm using my voice to put pressure on the company as a public person to change their behavior. That is the opportunity you have in a free society. All that being said, I believe that we have no idea how they're manipulating us, whether it's through algorithmic tricks or deboosting or switching search things or shadow bans on Twitter. I mean, one of the stories that barely anyone picked up, but as of January 1st, 2020, Twitter actually put shadow banning in their TOS, in their terms of service. They are telling us that they will throttle certain accounts. Now, they don't tell you who they're doing it to or when they're doing it. But again, especially right now in the midst of Corona, when the only way we can communicate with each other, we can't get together in real life, right? As you've talked about, one of the things you miss right now is going to temple on Fridays. Well, okay, you can't do that right now. So all of the way you can get to the world is through their pipes. So I'm very worried of all the things they can do to us. And finally, after screaming about it for a couple of years and having all these conversations with all of you guys, I started locals.com. And the idea was that what we need for anyone that creates anything, whether you're a political guy like us, whether you're a gamer or an unboxer, or you run a child's baseball league, or you're a nonprofit or a synagogue or a church, or literally anything, anyone that wants a digital presence, you should own your digital home. And that's what we're doing. We're building digital homes for creators. So you can have video and a news feed, and you can like and you can comment. You own all the content. You own the data. And here's the thing. We're not creating a platform. What we're creating are digital homes that you can choose to connect with other people's digital homes for a network effect. So if someone comes into RubinReport.com and they're just a relentless troll, or they're just there to raise chaos, I can boot them out. Now, that's not that I don't respect free speech, but I don't welcome everyone in my home to say whatever they want to me. You can say whatever you want on the public street outside. But the beauty is, we're not if I kick someone out of my local, I'm not deplatforming them, because they can still be in anyone else's local as long as they abide by their rules. You set your own rules in your local. So originally, the idea behind this was that we're creating digital seasteads. Peter Thiel was big on the idea of these seasteads floating in the water, where we could do experimental medical treatments and all sorts of things. I'm creating digital homes for creators. We managed to raise a nice amount of money in the midst of coronavirus, which was probably the worst time since 9/11 to raise some money, but we did well. And we're building, and we'll see what happens. Can David beat Goliath? In this case, can Dave beat Google? I don't know. We'll see. But, I just felt I had to put into practice the things that I'm always talking about. And that's what brought me to it.
Facts don't care about your feelings. And it's a fact that the Ben Shapiro Show is the largest conservative podcast in the nation. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and stay up to date on all of our content.